Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Zigzag here, and I must say thank you guys so much for 40,000 subscribers. We reached it just this morning, and it is really such a privilege to have such a great audience and to have gotten there. It's a big number. You think about cities in the world, 40,000 people is quite a big city. So yeah, just massive thank you to you guys. Thank you for sticking by me. The people who tune in every day. You're obviously the reason the channel keeps going. So yeah, big thank you to you. And so yeah guys, I'll have a Q&A come out on the weekend. This time I'll actually do it. On 30,000 I kind of put it off and then forgot, but yeah, this weekend you will have the 40,000 subscriber Q&A. You can still go and ask a question on my Discord if you so wish. We're going to try some skewed world records today. You guys know how it goes. This map is great fun because you're facing away from the road, so it's really difficult to get any good guesses, and the world record is very low. It sits at 21, which is held by Phineas at the moment, and Cinnamonique also achieved such a feat. And yeah guys, this is pretty much the average round you're going to get on a map like this, so definitely a difficult one. So let's get straight into it here. I'll try and explain my thought process, and I'll see what we've got. So it almost feels like we had like some maple leaves here, but the longer I look at it, the more I think it's just like a general kind of shape that we have to that leaf, which is not quite the same. I think anything continental Europe, East Coast US, even Northern Europe could work here, but I will try France. Why not? Let's go France. Was the US. I definitely think it's true that most rounds like that you do want to just go US on, because it's just like much more of a high possibility that you'll actually be correct, especially when you have zero info. Also, one thing I wanted to mention is that I'm getting back into TikTok making, so be sure to follow me over there. Do keep an eye out for that stuff, and leave a comment as well, because I think that helps out having more positive comments, because a lot of them on TikTok are quite, you know, they don't really believe it. So anyway, next one here is probably Portugal, I thought. I mean, it looks like Portuguese architecture. Certainly could see it being other countries as well, but I think that's what I want to try. I'm probably wrong, but you know, let's try southern Portugal here, and it was Portugal. So that is a nice start there, one country. See if we can make another one happen here. Almost felt like Mexico, like CDMX kind of vibes here. I could also see Chile. So where's the sun? Let's see if we can actually see the sun here. Sun seems to be maybe more south, but not really. I think it's actually kind of midday here, so it's not that helpful. I actually kind of like the Chile idea. Just because of the fence as well, seems to really fit. Could also see Colombia actually kind of working better than Mexico, but I think Chile most likely overall. It was indeed Chile there. A lot of Gen 4 around Temuco, so it's a good place to click. This is an easy Korea. I just want to make sure, I mean, it's snow coverage, so it's never going to be somewhere in Taiwan. I'm pretty sure Taiwan has no snow coverage, or at least I've never seen it, so it's a big difference between the two countries actually. Next one here, British Columbia, most likely, with this like hanging down sign. Just trying to think if I've ever seen it in the US. I don't really think I've seen it in the US, but it doesn't really look that much like BC either. I do think it is Canada. I could see Yukon maybe is more likely here, but I just really hope it's not Anchorage, because yeah, it is kind of possible. I do think so, but let's just try BC, or yeah, it was actually just near Vancouver there. Just an interesting, very cold looking round. Okay, next one here. Surely New Zealand is most likely. We got sheep everywhere, and we got this kind of wooden fence. So yeah, New Zealand feeling very good here. I just want to make sure there's nothing else possible. It does feel like the sun is more north than south as well, so that's also feeling great. Should just be New Zealand, guys. If this is Australia, then I'm going to start to question my sanity, or my insanity a bit. There we go, that's 5 in a row, so obviously that's going to put us about a quarter of the way there. That was a fortunate seed, though. We don't always get so fortunate. Next one here is also a fortunate round. Anytime you get low-cam countries like Switzerland, Sri Lanka, and Japan, that's really great. And obviously this one is going to be Swiss with that bollard, so let's go there. It was nearby, so that's a good score. Next one here. This one now moves to a bit more difficult, though gettable. It is interesting how dry this mountain in the background is. So I thought of something in perhaps Turkey, because it kind of looks like, maybe behind my webcam, it kind of looks like we have like some like water tanks on the roofs here, which would fit for Turkey. The problem is that corn crops, I don't feel like are particularly common in Turkey at all. But then again, you have to consider we do have dry mountains, so nowhere in Europe really works that well with those ones, I would say, especially on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see there. Now, I could also just see something in Latin America here being possible, certainly, which would probably be like Peru, but it's too flat for Peru, I think, so we can probably rule that out, especially with corn plus that. Normally in Peru, the corn would be growing like inside a valley or something, I think. I don't think Tunisia would ever have coverage like this. The problem is it's like some kind of weird trekker, so I could even see Israel for that reason, but again, it's kind of flat for Israel as well, I think. I mean, obviously, The flat parts of Turkey are also kind of rare, but that would kind of fit for this, like the kind of flat parts of Turkey would fit for this round, I think. So I think I'm kind of resigned to going for that. I'm just trying to think if anything else is actually at all possible here. Like, it should be a solvable round. There's enough information that you should be able to solve it, and yet I am not entirely sure. I could see even, I think the hill's too dry for Taiwan, but the crops kind of remind me of that, so I would not be shocked, I guess. But yeah, I guess we just go for Turkey here. Like, the architecture in the background looks good enough that I want to say that that's most likely. Israel, second possibility, could even see Tunisia. Maybe something in Europe, like really weird Spain, but I'm going to go for Gaziantep region here. And it was actually Peru. Interesting. So just very flat on the coast there. Yeah, it was kind of in a valley, this farm, but a very small one. And not typical, I would say. And so especially that architecture in the background, I couldn't see it properly, but did not strike me as particularly Peruvian. I think this one is Bhutan. I'm just going to go quickly in case it is. It was 13 kilometers away. Very nice. Next one here I thought Bangladesh. And it looks like, I mean, this truck looks so Indian that I'm going to struggle not to go there. They do appear to be wearing like kind of thin pants, like kind of, you know, these kind of not like really broad pants that you often get in like Muslim countries, but still, I think Bangladesh is going to be best here. I think it might be even Bengali on the truck here. Yeah, it was just all the way out there on the far reaches. This should be South Africa. Just don't really see what else fits with Generation 2 and kind of a Southern Hemisphere vibe. So I think we just go like here and call it a day. And it was actually Uganda. It wasn't Gen 2 at all. So, I mean, that would have been a very big throw and a high score, but, you know, it's fine. At this stage, we're only on 2, so that's fine. If you are enjoying the video, guys, so far, then please give a like. That would be much appreciated. As we head through to a round that I believe is South Africa, and people talk about this like a power plant in... Like, is it this area or this area? I think it's like in Mpumalanga, right near Joburg. I think it's like this area where you get a ton of power plants. So I'll try it. Yeah, it was this area right here. So yeah, tons of power plants to fuel such a huge city. And I think they're all east of the city there, which is a really interesting meta. Next one here, we have Spanish. We have round poles. And it gives me a bit of an interesting vibe here. Like, it's a round pole. So I thought, firstly, I must admit, of Peru. It's not a Peruvian... electricity counter. I also thought of Guatemala, but I feel like Guatemala would have a round one. And so we also do have phone codes here. I don't really recognize them, unfortunately. But now I guess I'm thinking of maybe Ecuador as a decent option, or Colombia. Both pretty good, I think. Actually, could be like kind of coastal Colombia or something like that, but like more in the mountains still. Architecture does kind of feel Colombian. It almost feels like this used to be painted as well. So I guess I'll try that as like a narrow favorite to Ecuador, but it was just Ecuador. That's pretty, yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a 50-50 in my opinion. Okay, this one should be Chile. I will just go for it. I actually don't know for sure. It was actually over the border, yeah. We had a wooden pole. Would have been a bit like weird for Chile. So I probably could have gotten it if I thought a little bit longer. This should be Russia. Or is it Canada? It's Canada, I think, yeah. Realized after. So I could go a bit slower on some of these, but when you're on a low streak, it's really no point in taking a few minutes on a round. Okay, that's probably Italy with all the, I don't know. It could easily be Spain, but it's green plus olives. I want to say Italy. And it was. Nice. Very good. Okay, next one here, just going to be Taiwan. Again, good to go quickly on these first rounds. If we're wrong on our easy round, so be it. It's okay. That is interesting. We have like a tiled roof. We have... green hills. We will go quickly here, but I just want to consider my options. So, North Macedonia possible. Bulgaria. I don't think it's really Romanian, but it could be Ukrainian. And it could be Eastern Slovakian. That's all options I think are actually possible here. Unfortunately, Poles don't give a massive amount away here. Like, that pole top could almost be... Well, not really any of the countries I mentioned, I feel like. That pole top's kind of more like a maybe even Hungarian or Romanian one or something like that. I don't know. I think I'll just make my decision here. It's Generation 3. Like, yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to say. I'm actually go Eastern Slovakia here. I'm just gonna try it. Why not? It was actually Turkey. Very Turkish roof, but the landscape was not typical. So that makes sense, I guess. That was Alberta Bollard on the side of the road there. This one should be somewhere in Latvia. So we just gotta build up our streak here, guys. Trust me. Things will start happening. That was actually in Ukraine, just using a Latvian pole. Didn't really pay enough attention. But yeah, guys, trust me. Things can happen, and very quickly on this map, because the record is so low, all of a sudden, you're on a high score. I'm telling you. Okay, next one. That was UK with the yellow number plate. This is... maybe actually Northern Italy. Ooh, or... Turkey. Interesting. Wasn't expecting Turkey, but we do see a minaret here. So I think Turkey has to be the play here, just somewhere, maybe near Bolu or something like that. It was actually near Bursa instead. Next one here should, with these dashed outers, be somewhere in Tunisia. Feels kind of southern. Feels quite desolate indeed. So I think I would go southern here, maybe Gabez or something like that. Or Sfax instead, that's fine. Okay, that's South Africa again. And this time I would say it's somewhere in this state here, KwaZulu-Natal, or just Eastern Cape. It's fine. This should be Botswana. It could be South Africa, but it really looks like Botswana to me. That's fine. Okay, so that was a clean 4 in a row, 5 in a row. Nice, 5 in a row. Let's see if we can add on that. I really hope we can. This is interesting. We got corn growing by the side of the road and a lot of sugarcane as well. I think, why does it look like Colombia? Or like, it could be like a flat Colombia or a flat Guatemala. Obviously, both countries being very mountainous makes it a bit scary, but that's kind of the vibe I got here. With that much sugarcane, huh? And it could be Brazil. We don't see any typical red dirt. So I want to try. So we're kind of looking southish there. I want to see if we were inside this Cali Valley. We may not see anything south here, because we are kind of looking south. So I think that kind of can work here. Forget what the name of the valley is, but yeah, this one you do get a lot of sugarcane. I know it's a silly guess potentially, but I want to try it, yeah? It was actually, oh man, so close to Guatemala, like I said, but just a flat chapas there, which is also kind of rare. That's a nice freebie there with the American flag. This could be America again, although the pole does not feel American. So instead, I want to say it might be Colombia. Although where would you have that pole in Colombia with the red and the blue? I don't know if you would. It could actually be Asia as well, but I'm gonna try Colombia again. I mean, Colombia's always a good default guess on this map, and this time it actually works out, which is nice. Okay, this is a lot of cows. It feels European, which is no good. Obviously, Europe, you want to dodge as much as you can on this map. And I want to say that, like, maybe like, oh, it's a really interesting fence, how it's like so like rickety. But I want to say like France is a decent option here. It's probably a bit too hilly for Denmark, but I did think of that as well. Maybe Czechia is decent as well. I don't know. Like, yeah, it's still a bunch of options that are possible here. I would just try France, though, because I feel like it's a decent option. Well, it's Belgium. I mean, you can't blame me for that. It's not too far away. This really looks like Malaysia. I want to get a good guess here, because I feel like I can vibe it out. I think it's... Ooh, blue pipes everywhere, huh? I feel like that's more of like a up here kind of thing. It's not going to be... I just don't really see which city it fits best for, so I'm going to try Labuan. Why not? Let's give it a go. Was actually just outside of Kota Kinabalu there, so that makes sense. I think you do see the blue pipes a lot in Kota Kinabalu, so yeah. I mean, we're on 1 here, I think, aren't we? Or 2? 1, yeah. Okay, next one here. That is Polish language. We will take that. Definitely don't complain about language on this map. That is a for sure fact. This should be, I think, Canada, although it could be Russia. So do we actually see anything to differentiate it here? It's a very like lush and dense kind of like wall of vegetation on the side of the road here. I do kind of get the feeling that these tracks on the side of the road would make Russia more likely. But it also kind of feels like it might just be a dirt road, in which case Canada would be more likely. So there's a lot of consideration to be done here. I might just go with what I initially thought, which was Canada. No, but it's one of the two. It has to be one of the two. Well, it could be Alaska, I guess, but it's, I don't know, something about this, like, big track makes me think that Russia is just better. Maybe that's silly, though. I want to go for Russia now. I've kind of convinced myself. Well, it's just in Latvia. Definitely not gettable, or very difficult, at least. Oh, that is a bit of Bengali. We'll take it. And let's see what we get next year. That is almost certainly... this is actually a difficult one, I could say. I think it's the South African side of the border, or just in Botswana. It has to be on this border somewhere. Reason being, like, this very red soil, dead bushes everywhere. Pole top. Pole top doesn't really give us anything, if I'm honest. So, it's difficult. I feel like the road feels decent for Botswana. So I may actually, maybe like in Lobatsa or something like that. It's very difficult to go there. And we're looking at this North Ridge. I feel like this is actually one where you might want to scan for it. Like, man. This is so 50-50. Like, I should be able to just go for it, but no, I'm going Botswana. That was Botswana, very good. Yeah, the road just felt a bit Botswana in a strange way. Okay, this is Indonesia or Malaysia. I know because we got like a black border on this chevron. And I think, this is actually another difficult 50-50. I feel like the road outside might be marked if it was Malaysia, more likely to be at least. So I think I'll go Indonesia here, but it does kind of feel bad. I don't know, it's so 50-50. I'm trying. I'm going with my gut here. Was actually in Malaysia. I mean, that was my initial gut, but yeah. I mean, yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay, moving on here. I still want to get a good score before I finish recording. It just sometimes takes a while on this map, as you can imagine. This should be Canada. I'm just going to trust it that it is. It was in Canada, right on the border. Bit scary. Good guess, though. This should be Canada again. Could be Arge. Sun is north. Shadow is south. So if Sun's north, then we should be Southern Hemisphere. It should be somewhere in Argentina for sure then. These two countries can look very similar to one another. This is like a bushfire coverage. I want to say it's Dakar if it's so like, it's like polluted. But I guess actually there might be some bushfire stuff around St. Louis, so that's interesting. Okay, Sun is north, so it should be Southern Hemisphere because of this south shadow here. And then it's between South Africa and like Argy, I guess, but it feels more South African to me, so I think I'm happy to just go for it here. And it was near Lesotho there, and I saw a Lesotho mountain in the background. Okay, this is quite an easy Nigeria with these roofs. Watch it be Ghana, but yeah, it should just be Nigeria here. And it was nice in Enugu there. Shout outs to my friend Kingsley from Enugu. Okay, next round here. Let's see what we got. Are we on 6 or 5? 5 here. This is Lesotho, but it is a very scary one because it's not typical. But I do trust that this is Lesotho. Could be like near Vicksburg or something like that. It was a little bit further south of Maseru. Okay, next one here, short dashes. They look like they've been painted over. If they've been painted over, it shouldn't be, I would say it's quite unlikely to be somewhere in Estonia, because in Estonia, you know, they haven't been doing the outer dashes for that long, so it would make sense. Much more for Sweden, I think, out of the two countries that do that. Could it be another country? Well, the trees feel quite northern, so they're the really only two options here, and I think Sweden is much better. And indeed it is. A little logic like that can get you a long way. Okay, this is either Taiwan or Japan. Surely Taiwan is feeling better here, but you can actually not really be sure, so I gotta get in here and look a little bit closer. It is actually difficult to say here. I think just vibes-wise, like, everything, if you cut out everything on the screen apart from this house, then it just looks like Taiwan. But this house does strike me as a bit Japanese. Not Japanese enough. I think it might just be like near Taipei, and that's why. Obviously, we're not far from Japan at that stage. And of course it could, if it is Japan, it should be Okinawa, shortly. But we'll see where it actually is. Well, it's just south in Kaohsiung City, so that's good. And probably pronounced that wrong, but that's okay. Next one here. Think it's like kind of like a Czechia and USA 50-50 here. Kind of like spring coverage, I guess, with like some new leaves. This is the type of round where you really do have to consider just going USA, because, you know, these kind of forest rounds, they look like any other country, so, you know, I will be disappointed if it's Czechia, but I feel like that is kind of the best play here. Though the way that you have these trees kind of planted densely on the side of the road does kind of feel more European to me. I don't really see anything through the trees, other than the fact that it's quite like, you know, it's kind of disorganized in the way that they've cut some things down and not others, and I don't know, it is, it's kind of a strange round, I will say that. But I still feel like USA is such a decent option that I do kind of like, if I had to say what country is most, like, best in Europe, it's Czechia, and it kind of feels better than US, but US is just so much more likely in total that I think I have to go for it. So that's my logic here. Please don't be Czechia. And it was US. Excellent. Okay, that is that's good that it worked out for us. Next one here is gettable but difficult. I don't like this. It's definitely difficult. So a few options here. This kind of like autumn coverage is very interesting, and kind of distinctive peaks in the background and make it a difficult round in some ways. So thoughts here, maybe like Czechia is actually a good front runner again here. This time it's definitely Europe, of course, with the houses. We feel like we have like a bit of a red house here and like an orange house there. That could almost like lead one to like Austria or something. I feel like Czechia or Slovakia are kind of better though, just based on like kind of the random hills. I feel like that's kind of like a, you know, random hills like that could be a bit of a Czech thing. I could see that, especially kind of with like a rolling landscape in the meantime, but maybe right on the Austrian border or something. I could be totally on the wrong track. I'm just trying to think where I see autumn coverage like this being most likely. Could even see Italy with yellow houses, like, if those even are yellow houses, obviously we can't zoom in, but could even see Italy as a decent option here as well. It's a bit of a scary round, obviously, on 9. We're just going to go for it here. It's not the highest score ever, so I'll trust my Czechia gut here. Second time lucky. We went USA last time. We forsook Czechia. This time, we are not forsaking Czechia, and we're going for it. And it was just south in Slovenia. I don't know why I didn't think of Slovenia, but that was pretty Slovenian, so a bit of a poor guess there. I mean, I don't know, I just kind of isolated to these 3 countries, and like I think I've just seen enough Austria that like Slovenia, like that I knew it wasn't there, but then like Slovenia was just a snake in the grass there. So I would go for one more good set here, but I mean, 9 is probably going to be the best score of the episode if we are realistic with ourselves here. It's a nice, easy US to start off with there. Next one here should be Melbourne. Maybe, I want to say west of Melbourne. Is it east or west of Melbourne? That's a good question. I'll say it's west of Melbourne. Let's go Lara here. Was actually in Torquay, or is it Torquay or Torquay? I actually don't know. Never been there. Okay, next one here should be Albania or Turkey. Out of the 2, what is it actually? I think it's Albania, but couldn't actually be sure. Those 2 countries do give me problems sometimes. I actually get the right spot though, so that's good. Okay, this one's hard. Could be like Greece. Loki really quite like Greece here. Could be Middle Eastern as well. Trying Greece here. Trying a Greek island. Why not? What's a Greek island? That's kind of cracked. Okay, nice. Next one here. Should be Cambodia. Or was it something completely different? It could be. She, on the bike there, could be Cambodian for sure. I'm looking for like an Angkor Wat, like a beer ad, or like an Angkor or a Cambodia beer ad. Normally you see those, and I don't. But the whole vibe of the place is quite Cambodian, so I'm just trying to think of what actually else is possible here, and not a lot comes to mind. It would be a very strange Ghana, especially because it looks like we have a pole that I would say feels quite Southeast Asian here. So yeah, I'm happy for just like outskirts of Phnom Penh here. And it was actually near Krong instead, but that's okay. We moved to 5 in a row. So actually, quick recovery. We would be on 15 right now if I had have thought of Slovenia, which I easily could have. So a little bit of a shame. This could be a big what if, but this round is looking difficult. So yeah. I have to do some thinking here. This could be Slovenia again, honestly. But it feels a bit more wildernessy and a bit more flat in a strange way that makes me want to go a bit further east or a bit further southeast. We have like a few random blurs here, which is interesting. Would be a decent tip for Lithuania, but this is not Lithuania, just based on how much elevation we have and kind of the warmness of the whole place. I could see South Russia, but it feels kind of unlikely. I still like leaning Balkan better here, I think. But this kind of like random hilliness is interesting. I could see Serbia. I could see something Serbia. I could see Romania. Could see like Czechoslovakia here. Or Slovenia, I mean. Czechoslovakia, Slovenia, Croatia, I mean. They both start with the S and C, so it's at least somewhat fair. Yeah, I mean, Czechoslovakia also possible. No low-key, but I'll try Serbia. I like that, actually. And it was actually Romania, probably my second choice, but that's okay. Obviously, we're playing well here, so we should actually continue on a little longer. And this is hard, to say the least. I think I'll just go, even though we have litter, like litter is, we only see like we see 3 pieces of litter here. I actually want to go like something South Hemisphere rather than North for that reason. So like Argentina or South Africa. What is that in the background? It's not hills. So I think I'll try like just Joburg area here. It was actually Romania. Interesting. Wouldn't have gotten that. So that would have definitely ended our streak. If we had have managed the first one, I think we would have lost there. It was a very difficult Romania. Okay, this one is maybe like Finland, Sweden, but weird vibes though. Like fence is strange, so I'm not really sure where I actually would have gone for this one either. Maybe just Sweden. Okay, it was Sweden. Actually, a pretty good guess. Next one here, Russia. That's pretty easy. Can send that pretty quickly. Next one here is near Dicht, which I assume is in the Netherlands. Oh, I thought it was. Yeah. Okay, we're right near Dicht there. That's 3 in a row. After this streak ends, we will end the video. So let's see if we can make this happen. And the next round here is gettable, though difficult. We have like now we have like some kind of a maple tree or something similar. But it surely isn't Canada with that bridge off to the right of the screen. I thought of Turkey, although Turkey would be strange for this rolling landscape. So what about like southern Romania, northern Bulgaria? They're possible, for sure. What about Greece? Greece is not a bad shout, I think. Could even see a few others like Italy, maybe even Spain. It would be a weird Spain, but it almost feels like, I mean, I think it's just a bridge. It is just a bridge. It almost felt like an aqueduct or something, in a strange way. I mean, I guess it still could be, but it's definitely a tunnel that it leads into at least. Yeah, not easy here, I must say. These like wooden posts set up in the field here, it almost does make me want to go. I don't know. It's like gives me like a bit of weird Eastern versus Western European vibes here. I should use that to think of where it is, but unfortunately nothing's really coming to mind. It does kind of feel like a similar climate to Australia, which is interesting. I don't really know where that should or would place us, to be honest. Maybe it is just an Italian landscape. I think that kind of fits the best out of it all. So I'll try it, and it was Italy, and even indeed right there. So the video lives on, guys. The video lives on. Okay, next one here should be somewhere in Romania. Double white. Or is it just Turkey? I think actually it's just Turkey here. But the problem is we don't have any water tanks on the roofs. So it's really one of the two nations. I'm just trying to think what's actually better. This sign feels Turkish with the blue background. I like Turkey for that. The guardrail fits fine. The architecture, yeah, it fits okay. It's not perfect, but it fits okay. Double white line. Fits both countries, I think. I think both countries would do that on a road like this. But the kind of asphalt here with the like black dots in it is decidedly more Turkish. So I think that's what we go for here. Near Istanbul should work here. And it is near Istanbul. Gosh, guys, what was this the first 2 rounds? Yeah, we're on a stonking score so far with 2 really good region guesses. Next one here should be Nigeria. Unless it was something strange, like these ads almost feel like they're in like Sri Lankan or something. I think that is Sri Lankan language. Sinhala, is it? I forget what it's called. But anyway, the pole. Would you get that pole in... I mean, the double pole mixed with like these pole tops is very, very Nigerian, but let's not pay attention to that for a sec. We do see tiled roofs like peeking through here, which I feel much better for Sri Lanka. I also think we do have Sri Lankan language here. If I had to really stretch, I feel like the guy on the little sign here does kind of look Sri Lankan, and more than he looks Nigerian at least. It does appear that he might have like paler skin as well than what you'd expect from like what would be typical in Nigeria. And yeah, I mean, both countries working in a very strange 50-50 here. But that's what this map does, you know? I think I will go for Sri Lanka. I feel like I can't really justify going for Nigeria, even though these poles are what look really Nigerian in a very concerning way. Like, they don't feel that Sri Lankan. But I feel like I have to go for Sri Lanka, guys. I don't really see how I don't, you know? I just think, like, if I wasn't feeling comfortable, these, like, these kind of tiled roofs peeking through here do make me feel better. So I'm going to try it. It was correct. Okay, and we're actually on a great score. I forgot to even try and region guess there, but that's a good score. So we can still kind of get a high one here. And the video lives on yet longer. In what this round almost feels quite Turkish again. I think that's the default guess here. The curb and the asphalt again. I feel like Turkish asphalt will actually come and save us here again, because otherwise I would not be so confident. But yeah, I feel like this is just Turkey pavement, so we just go like here and call it a day. Oh my gosh, it wasn't at all. It was just, I mean, like Croatia does have very pale roads, so that does make sense. Feel like I still probably would have missed it. Like, this is quite Turkish looking. Yeah, it is a lot of black specks. Okay, so that's yeah, I don't really feel so bad. Although, if we could look around, I do think, well, obviously, even without the bollards, I think we could have gotten Croatia pretty easily. But, guys, that is the nature of this map. Guys, thank you very much for watching the video. Thank you for 40,000 subscribers. Do give the video a like, and I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Till next time, and goodbye.